time. Landetta booting the ball.
So much is said about offense and defense, but the third weapon is special teams. It's kind of taken for granted, actually. Very few players want to be a part of it, but as you can see, Zickahema does a fine job of going up in the middle, sets things up, and then turns it outside. And in a game like this, it's very important that they score early, and they did.
He also had a 48-yard kickoff return. So Vi Zickahema with a 76-yard punt return for a touchdown and an extra dance tacked on, as you can see how the Giants special teams have led to 3 touchdowns by the St. Louis Cardinals in this ball game. And the Giants have had good field position, Terry, but they have relied solely on the pass. I mean, Phil Simms should go way over 30 into 40 attempts before we're through.
I think one of the real keys for the second half for the Giants, I think this defensive this defensive secondary and linebackers of the Giants, as good as they are in the National Football League, and the offense of the Giants feeds off of their emotion. They feed off of their excitement, and I think the Giants need to display that. It filtrates over to your offense. Right now, it's a one-sided affair.
Raul Alegre will kick off to start the second half. Vi Zickahema and Derek McAdoo are back for the Cardinals. Heading over toward McAdoo's side. They want to get it away from Zickahema as far as possible. McAdoo brings it out beyond the 20-yard line. Well, not all of the Cardinal fans are apathetic about their team. And a lot of young ones want to see it stay around.
It's pretty fancy writing there.
And the season is approaching. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
I love Christmas. Absolutely love Christmas. Got that little daughter now, and I love Christmas. Loved it before, but it's even more fun now. You bet.
First and 10 Cardinals on their 22-yard line. Stump Mitchell, big hole off the left side. Brings it out to the 27-yard line before Harry Carson making the stop. Gain 57 yards today by Stump.
Marshall King on the guards and center, so he tells us on first down, reads the tackle, Louis Sharp. Sharp steps outside, and then Marshall meets that penetration by going outside, allowing Mitchell to come back underneath him once again.
6-yard pickup by Stump Mitchell, who's gained 57 yards. It'll be second down and 4 for the Cardinals on their 28. Mitchell again, Wolfley blocking. Mitchell has the first down and more. Fumble, but the whistle might have blown. Let's wait and see. Carl Banks made the hit on the play. Still no indication. And the Cardinals have recovered, so the whistle had not blown, but the Redbirds recovered and have a first down at the 35-yard line. And Gene Stallings deserves a lot of credit for keeping the Cardinals together under a lot of distractions away from the field this year.
Well, they're playing like a hungry football team. They're not as talented, obviously, as the Giants, but they're playing with that old key word. I don't even want to bring it up again, but it's emotion. They're not as talented as the Giants, yet they're carrying it to them today.
Lomax on first down, pumps a couple of times, finds a wide open Awald, and Awald with a big gainer into Giant territory to the 43-yard line. Perry Williams knocked him out of bounds, but a 22-yard pickup for Robert Awald.
Marshall 70, Louis Sharp has him by himself, coming out with a little help from the left guard, Pete. Now, Pete stands there. Marshall hasn't beaten Sharp yet. Finally, Louis Sharp turns him over to Pete, who handles him and gives Lomax time to find Awald crossing across the field for a big catch.
Awald has caught 5 passes today. There is Marshall, and Jay Novacek has replaced Awald. And Mitchell on first down fights his way with a penalty marker thrown inside the 40-yard line. Lawrence Taylor, with help from Eric Howard, made the stop, and the flag appears to be against St. Louis.
Holding, number 64, offense, first down.
Todd Pete, rookie left guard out of Northern Illinois. He was an 11th round draft pick. Boy, when you get him that high, or low, I should say, in the draft, you've done pretty well.
Most of your offensive linemen in the National Football League, your really great ones, your starters are free agents and low-round draft choices. Most of your number 1s, 2s, and 3s are spent on linebackers, defensive backs, quarterbacks, those halfbacks who win the Heisman, all those fancy guys.
First down in the long distance, and Lomax goes down. And another loss on the play. And that is the second sack of the game by the Giants, and that's Lawrence Taylor, who now has 11 on the year.
Lawrence Taylor, 56, coming up in outside, penetrates down inside, forms a pick for Marshall, 70, who goes around, and then finally Lawrence Taylor beats his guy, gets inside, and makes the first sack today of Neil Lomax.
4 years in a row now that Taylor has 10 or more sacks, and I wonder if during the intermission in the dressing room, Lawrence Taylor was as angry as anyone with the score. Second down and 27, back to the Cardinal 40-yard line. Early here in the third. Being chased again, and Lomax throws it down, flag. Carl Banks put the rush on, and they may call Lomax for intentionally grounding the ball to avoid a sack, and that will be the call. Lomax argues with Jerry Markbright, but that'll go to no avail.
That's a good call by Markbright, because it's clear that Lomax realizes Banks is going to sack him, throws a football down, and what Lomax is thinking is that can do this is legal, but it was to avoid a sack, which makes it illegal. Taylor not putting any pressure, but straight up the middle, 58, is Carl Banks, and now Lomax says, I'm fixing to get dumped. He throws the ball down. You can't do that. Watch now. Banks comes in. Lomax knows he doesn't have a prayer, knows he's going to get sacked, throws the ball in.
Intentional grounding. Avoiding a loss of run. Penalty forced from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. Third down.
So the Cardinals going in reverse with good pressure by the Giant defense. Mike Ruther replacing Derek Kennard at center for the St. Louis Cardinals, and it'll be third down and 37 at the 30, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lomax just hands the ball off here. 12:40 remaining in the third quarter, with St. Louis leading 27-10. But Lomax will throw if he can. And it's an incompleted pass, and once again Lawrence Taylor came storming in. Greg Lasker also came in on a safety blitz.
Safety blitz, late safety blitz by Greg Lasker, 46, coming to Lomax's right. Lawrence Taylor there in the center of your screen, spinning off Tootie Robbins, gets the penetration, and then he and Lasker get to Lomax about the same time. Of course, you see Taylor getting the sack.
Greg Horn will punt to Phil McConkey. Booming kick by Horn, his best of the day. McConkey back to the 25. And McConkey is wrestled down short of the 35-yard line by Anthony Bell, a 9-yard return following a 46-yard kick. Is it rough on special teams? Take a look at this.
There's the hit. Woofley. Roussan going after it.
And inspired the Giant defense sparked by Taylor and Banks, and let's see if it spills over to the offense here, Terry, with the Cardinals leading by 17. First and 10 Giants on their own 35-yard line. They have a lot of time in this third quarter, and the first pass intended for Manuel is low and incomplete, and covering on the play was Mark Jackson.
Seems like every time that Sims has come up and realized that Manuel has Jackson man for man, or vice versa, with Jackson playing off, Sims has thrown the ball to him. Twice now he's thrown the ball down into the ground.
The numbers of Phil Sims today. His touchdown pass was to Mark Bavaro, which at the time in the first quarter tied the score at 7 apiece. The closest the Giants have gotten since then, 14-10. Second and 10. Swinging out, one man to beat, and he can't do it. And a fine play by Leonard Smith, leading the Cardinal tacklers for the third year in a row.
The Cardinals Cardinals are really being risky with their coverage. They're taking their secondary, and at the very last minute, changing the coverage. That time, Leonard Smith called off the original coverage. Everyone shifted, and then at the snap of the ball, Smith came flying up to make the stop.
3rd down and 9. They get 3rd and 8. Sims. And a penalty marker down as the intended receiver was Lionel Manuel. Covering was Mark Jackson. Let's see if a flag was thrown. And it doesn't appear that one was. So it'll be 4th down, and Sean Landetta will come in. No flag thrown, and the Giants missed another opportunity. But, Terry, they went to the air right immediately on the first play.
First play, they went at Mark Jackson. 3rd down play, they threw at Mark Jackson. So, Matt, you try to make a goat out of Mark Jackson, and what you end up doing is making the guy Rookie of the Year.
Vi Sikahema is beat deep, and Landetta. Good kick. Sikahema. 17. Dives forward and crashes to the 38-yard line. Lee Roussan making the stop, a 20-yard return by Sikahema, who has a 76-yard punt return for a touchdown and a 48-yard kickoff return today. He made the Pro Bowl because of that kind of performance last year.
Wayne Davis, a backup linebacker for the Cardinals, as he and Zeke Mowat getting a little. Now, see, there's the nice hit by Zeke. He's got him down, but now all of a sudden, Wayne Davis gives him a little kick right in the face, and then, of course, Mowat showing the emotion that it's necessary, and then the big wrestling match starts, and they had a real nice wrestling match going on here in St. Louis last night with the Hulk and all those guys here, so maybe that's a carryover from that.
Even the umpire, Bob Wagner, got in the act there. 1st and 10 Cardinals on their 38-yard line, leading the Giants 27-10. Mitchell, he's gotten good yardage straight ahead, and on a second effort, managed to get to the 42-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play, and making the stop for the Giants was Carl Banks and Kenny Hill. This is the scene at Busch Stadium in St. Louis in what could be the final game of the year and of all time in St. Louis. It is the last game of the year for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 6. Just under 11 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Pass is incomplete, intended for J.T. Smith. And covering was Mark Collins for the Giants.
J.T. Smith's been kind of quiet today. One reception on a blitz that Lomax turned around and threw the ball to him. Lomax now trying to get a little quick slant in there to him, trying to get the ball to him and let him run with it.
You look at the scores, and of course most of the AFC teams, many of them are still in the playoff fight. 3rd down and 6 at the 42-yard line. Lomax under big pressure, nearly intercepted by Terry Kennard. There have been no turnovers in the game today. And we very nearly had one right there. Looking at the scores, the Philadelphia Eagles eliminated from the playoffs because of the Miami victory. The Cowboys are out because the Redskins beat them. Tampa Bay is in trouble. Greg Horn kicking on 4th down, sending McConkey back inside his 10. Wending his way to the 26. Good running by McConkey, and making the stop was Anthony Bell. A 50-yard kick by Horn. We'll be back to St. Louis after this. 1st and 10 on their 26-yard line, following a 50-yard kick by Horn. No scoring in the 3rd quarter with 10:34 remaining. 27-10. Sims' first pass dropped by Morris. Giants showing a tremendous lack of concentration today, among other problems on special teams, and it's been a passing offense. 32 passes for the Giants, only 10 running plays.
That could be a sign of frustration on behalf of Joe Morris, not being able to run the football coming out. Now he has an opportunity to catch the football and then run, drops it.
2nd down. Adams in the backfield for the Wolves. his man and a first down. Odessa Turner. Gain of 14. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, where the Cardinals, who have been playing before half-empty houses virtually all year, are playing an outstanding football game and lead the New York Giants 27-10 with 10:23 to go in the third. Vic Stockton and Terry Bradshaw, a Giant loss, would finally end their misery and put them out of the playoffs, and the Cardinals are still alive. First and 10 at the 39. Here's Morris turning the corner and ridden out of bounds at the 46-yard line by Leonard Smith.
Leonard Smith hoping that when the Pro Bowl ballots come out that the players won't look at the interceptions but look at the overall contribution he's made as a defensive back. So many times you feels like that everyone looks at the number of interceptions a player has, and then they vote that guy into the Pro Bowl, and he's saying, hey, look at the overall job I've done, the way I tackle and direct this defense.
Second down and 3 at the 46. Sims up the middle. Bavaro burst into Cardinal territory, and a first down to the 35-yard line, a gain of 19. Lonnie Young making the stop for the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, next Saturday at noon Eastern time starts with the NFL Today, and then it's these New York Giants against the Green Bay Packers. Last year, the Giants stomped on the Pack 55-24, and Green Bay was incensed after the ball game. They'll have an opportunity. And then basketball action follows with North Carolina against Illinois. Adams run out of bounds. Mark Jackson and then Anthony Bell combining. At the 35-yard line. Out of Kentucky.
Leonard Smith's going to blitz his safety side coming up, and he'll come over and penetrate the back, who's going to get tackled all the way across the other side of the field. And Leonard Smith will get tackled. He'll get blocked down. Now you see him. He's gotten up. He's jumped over people. Now he's not through yet. That's why he says he should be in the Pro Bowl.
Second and 10 at the 35 for the Giants. Sims has Odessa Turner complete, and another first down at the 22. Carl Carter covering on the play, and a 13-yard pickup for Odessa Turner, whose first NFL reception was 2 weeks ago against Washington.
Phil Sims working the sidelines early in the first quarter. We saw him throwing deep ins. Now he's turned his attention to the sidelines, working the deep outs with Odessa Turner. Turner, a fourth-round draft choice. He's the guy Baker was taken. Ingram was taken ahead of him, but he's the guy they feel like's the real superstar of the future.
First down for the Giants at the Cardinal 22. Here comes a blitz. Sims is hit, and it's anyone's ball. And Anthony Bell with a tremendous pressure there, and E.J. Jr. tried to dive for the interception. But this is an aroused Cardinal defense today.
Bell coming up to the top of your screen in a 4-3 alignment. It should be no problem blocking him, but as you can tell, no one's there to pick him up, and he absolutely wears Phil Sims, number 11, all over his chest. But in a 4-3 alignment, someone is responsible for blocking him, either a back or tackle or a defensive end. Someone blew their assignment.
Second down and 10, and Sims has already attempted 35 passes, and that's a season's high for him. At the 22. Pass is caught by Odessa Turner. And a first down and a fine catch just outside the 10-yard line by Turner. And now we know what you're talking about Turner's future.
They say he just walks out. Parcells, watch him when he comes on the field. He has that little prance, that little move, that little gait about him that has all the looks of superstar. Now you see the reasons why when he throws those hands up like Hoovers and snatches the ball for a first down.
He played safety in college at Northwest Louisiana.
Demons.
I didn't know that.
My arch rival in college.
Louisiana Tech. I don't even know your name.
We didn't have one then.
First down at the 11. Big drive by the Giants. Sims will take the loss back to the 14, and the smart quarterback will do that. Clasby and Freddie Joe Nunn combine. Steve Albert, the right tackle, penetrated on the play.
You really don't have a lot of time as a quarterback to throw when you're inside the 30 with the red zone. That's the scoring zone, because as a quarterback, you think to yourself, blitzes, and then you say, I'm not going to have enough time. The guy's either there, I'll run it or throw it away. You don't have a lot of time.
Second down and 13. Back at the 14 for Sims. Going for the end zone, diving, touchdown, Lionel Manuel. A 14-yard touchdown strike to Manuel. His 6th reception of the year for a score. He beat Mark Jackson. So, Terry, they've been working on Jackson all day, and it finally worked out.
Well, they had Jackson set up by running a lot of sideline patterns, and this time Manuel comes down. He'll come into the center of your screen and then go back out to the right side. And when he brings Jackson inside, Jackson loses Manuel. Manuel, being smart receiver that he is, goes back out to the corner, wide open for a touchdown.
Raul Alegre with the conversion. It's good. 8 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and Phil Simms has something to shout about. The Giants trail the Cardinals now 27-17.
He's got to be happy. Phil Simms will not quit on you. He thinks now, hey, we're back in this game. We can win this baby.
In a hurry, Simms to Manuel, and it's a 27-17 game. Alegre kicking off short, heading over to Derek McAdoo. McAdoo bringing it back and dives forward to the 27-yard line. The New Orleans Saints defeated the Houston Oilers 24-10, and one divisional race still alive in the NFC is the West. The 49ers have a home game against the Bears tomorrow, and the Saints are right on their necks.
How about those Saints? Can you believe that? Being from Louisiana all the years and sit there and listen to people make fun of them?
Did you wear the bag over your head at one time?
Oh, no. 10-3, unbelievable.
First and 10 for the Cardinals at the 27. The Giants have played inspired defense in the second half. They're definite range here. Lomax to Mitchell on the handoff, and Mitchell is thrown down by Carl Banks. Banks and Taylor have sparked the Giants' second half defense.
Banks, 58, center of your screen. He will check AWOL to see whether he releases or if he blocks. When he sees that he's going to block, now he penetrates, gets his hands on him, and then comes in and makes the stop. That was one of the delayed draws that are no good unless linebackers are driving backward, allowing the guards to pull out and block. No one there. Banks makes the sack.
Second and 11. Mitchell makes a tough catch of a hard throw out to the 25-yard line, and they'll lose a yard. Pepper Johnson on the stop.
Now you see the overflow. Remember, we were talking about the Giants coming out defensively. If they can play up to inspired football, then the offense will pick up, and they did. They scored. Now look what's happened to the Giants defense. They're picking it up, shutting down the Cardinal offense.
But the Giants defense started at first here in the second half.
Yes, they did.
Third down and 12 at the 25 with just under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lomax and has his man, and a first down for the Cardinals. Don Holmes, who dropped one earlier, catches this for 16 yards and moves the sticks for the St. Louis Cardinals.
You're going to look at linebackers coming, and there'll be one more to the righty, left of your screen, both coming up inside. There's Taylor playing a down lineman position, and then Lomax not able to really follow through. Throws out, and it looks like it's intended for Green, but he overthrows Green and lands in the lap of Donald Holmes, 83.
Big play. They couldn't get to Lomax, and the Cardinals have a first down on their own 42. Lomax again throwing, drills it to Roy Green, complete to the 35. 23-yard pickup to Roy Green. First catch of the game for Roy.
Green on Mark Collins. Collins laying to the outside. Now it's a foot race. Green sees him leaning deep, turns it back up underneath, and then a fine throw by Lomax as he squeezes it in. Now look at Lomax. He makes it happen. Notice he's looking to the left, then right at the very last moment turns and throws back to the right.
Roderick Sargent, number 39, is the fullback for the Cardinals. First and 10, St. Louis. On the 35, Stump Mitchell sacked him down and loses a couple on the play, and thanks to Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor, top of your screen, 56, right here. Had the hamstring problem. This is his chase position. This is the position where he chases. But you can see from this that he's not sprinting full speed, kind of three-quarter speed. Still gets in and makes the tackle.
Loss of a yard, second down and 11. 5:45 remaining in the third quarter. Lomax going up top. Roy Green had beaten Perry Williams, but the pass was overthrown. And Lomax would have loved that one again.
Well, that's a combination that drives secondaries crazy. Roy Green, 81, gets inside of Williams, and for some reason now, Williams thinks he might have cover from over top. No one there. Lucky for him that Lomax didn't have the time to get the ball to him. Look at Lomax. He knows he had an opportunity there. Gee whiz, I mean, come on. You're going to get another shot at it.
Looks like Ozzie Smith, or a reasonable facsimile to the Cardinals shortstop.
You like to see that. You like to see guys jump around, roll around on the ground, and get up, because it shows that they want to win. They're in this thing to have a good time and make it happen.
Third down and 11 at the 36 for the Cardinals, leading 27-17 over the Giants. Lomax up the middle and couldn't lead J.T. Smith or let him too far, and the pass is incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down, and Horn will come in and kick it away for St. Louis.
Now, this could be a very critical series for the Cardinals, because they had two opportunities. An opportunity to Smith right there to get the first down, an opportunity to Green for the touchdown. Don't take the Giants lightly. We're looking at 27-17, new life for the Giants.
And also keep in mind, as McConkey goes back, that the Cardinals have missed a conversion, so the Giants need a touchdown and a field goal to tie. Had the conversion been good, that wouldn't be enough for the Giants, but Greco missed earlier. Horn standing in midfield. And the 30-second clock winds down to 0, and a 5-minute delay of game call. There's the Giant offensive line getting ready to go back to work.
Standing up, anxious to get back in there. Tackles Roberts, saying, hey, let's go.
Problems in the offensive line led to poor pass protection. No running game for the Giants to speak of this year, and today they've been protecting Sims a little bit better.
When they move that back, they take that delay of penalty to give the kicker a better angle, but now if he shanks it, look at the yardage they're going to lose.
He booms this kick. It didn't really matter. Out of the end zone or in the end zone.
Well, why do that? Why not kick it out of bounds inside the 10 or try to? That was just a driver right through there.
41-yard kick, and the Giants will take over as their defense talks things over. They have been the spearhead so far in this third quarter. They've outscored the Cardinals 7-0 and trailed by 10 points.
You can see Banks talking to Leonard Marshall, trying to get involved, tell him we've got to get back in this.
Next Sunday on CBS, the Jets and the Eagles, Saints and Bengals, Minnesota and Detroit, 12:30 Eastern Time. NFL continues on CBS next Sunday. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Sims couldn't find anyone. And down he goes. Third sack of the ball game, and Bob Clasby with help from Freddie Joe Nunn, and a loss of 7.
Freddie Joe Nunn, 78, and Clasby, 79, a tackle and an in. Actually, Freddie Joe Nunn, 78, is a linebacker converted to a defensive end. His quickness really helps him here, but Clasby's actually the guy that gets in and makes the sack. Freddie Joe Nunn just kind of assisted him a little bit.
Nunn leads the Cardinals with 7 sacks this year. Second down and 17. Here comes E.J. Jr. And the pass out of the backfield to Adams is overthrown. Third down, and Jr. put on good pressure outside.
Blitz outside, and what Sims had was a little screen, but he had to throw the ball over Jr.'s hands real high, forcing him to miss his receiver.
This is a man who is intense, Lawrence Taylor, and they knew it in the replacement game against Buffalo earlier in the year. He played it as if it were the Super Bowl. They just can't get him off the field, and he's anxious to get back on. Third down and 17, back on the 13 for the Giants. Sims on a design rollout. Downfield, and he's got McConkey and a first down to the 37-yard line. Gain of 23 yards. Carter on the stop, and the Giants stay in business.
You can notice Sims there talking and waving his hands at his players, encouraging them, come on, we got this thing going. Let's get in here. You can feel the emotional part. You can see the old momentum's kind of swinging over to the Giants side.
It may have a very slim chance, and perhaps none in many people's eyes, but mathematically, they need to win to stay alive. If they lose, they're out. First down, Giants on the 36. Up the middle is Bavaro. And trying to lean toward the sticks for a first down. Nico Noga, the linebacker, making the stop as you see the time remaining here in the third quarter. Bavaro has caught 8 passes for 91 yards this afternoon.
Well, he had 6 for 133 last week. Notice Bavaro down. Notice the linebacker bail outside. The bail releases, then Bavaro comes to the inside. There goes Bell, releases. Now Bavaro just comes back inside. The linebackers are deep. That's a simple little pass that they've run probably 4 or 5 times already.
They're going to measure for the first down, and the Giants have it. Thanks to Mark Bavaro, had a foot injury earlier in the season and getting better as the season advances. The Giant bench with Harry Carson, the linebackers.
Don't you know Harry Carson would like nothing better than dump a bucket of Gatorade on Bill Parcells at the end of this game? That's an indication these guys are back.
They don't do it this year, but I'll tell you what, they'd like to think about doing it.
You bet.
First down, Giants on the 46. And there's a flea flicker. Sims. And he's got an open man. Phil McConkey, and McConkey has the first down. So a flea flicker. Morris back to Sims, a gain of 17, and they had to get away from the safety, I believe, Leonard Smith on that play.
You're going to see, there's McConkey coming in motion. There's Morris. Sims will pitch it, drop back. Morris runs over here, and he pitches it back. But right here is 45, Leonard Smith coming in from the blitz, and he disrupts the whole package. There's the pitch. Now there's Smith. He barely misses, and then a fine job that time by McConkey and Sims.
First down on the Cardinals, 37. Sims to Roussan out of the backfield. Dives for the first down. Let's see where they'll mark it. Carl Carter making the stop on Lee Roussan. And it appears to be another Giant first down, and the Cardinal is shaken up at the 45-yard line. Bob Clasby, the left tackle, is holding on to his left knee. .307 remaining in the third quarter. The Giants were trailing 27-10 at the half, now trailed by 10 points and driving here. They have a first down on the St. Louis 27, but Clasby is shaken up. Second-year free agent from Notre Dame.
New York first and 10. St. Louis 27.
Working with his shoulder, had their hand inside the shoulder pad, so a lot of times you think when they do that, it's kind of like a nerve has been hit. You know, when his head gets hit in the head and get a little nerve, a little tingling down the arms.
So the Rams with their big lead. Your old club over San Diego, the Steelers. Detroit leading Tampa Bay. First and 10 at the 27, the AFC East. One game separates all 5 teams. And now the crowd urging on the Cardinal defense. Leonard Smith on the field performing the role of cheerleader here. First and 10 at the 27. Clasby is out. Mark Naralchik is in, number 76. And Sims fumble. Nico Noga right around the play, and let's see if the Cardinals have recovered. You'll hear the cheer if they do. and the first turnover of the ball game. B.J. Jr. recovered the fumble, and the Cardinals have the ball.
Nico Noga straight up the middle. There's no one there to block him, and finally the running back notices late. I believe that's Adams. Notices that he's coming up the middle. He says, "Oh no, that's my man." Turns around too late. He penetrates and knocks the ball out of Sims' hand.
Well, the Giant defense was anxious to get back and do some damage. There's the offensive problem for the Giants, but now a golden opportunity goes by the board for the Giants, and the Cardinals with a 10-point lead have a first down on their 32. Stump Mitchell with a terrific 8-yard foray beyond the 40-yard line up the middle, and the Giants have rarely stopped Mitchell going straight up this afternoon.
Kennard, the center, and Lance Smith, the right guard, do a good job, and all this is a read by Mitchell as he takes the handoff and he reads the nose tackle and goes opposite. If he goes to the left, then he goes to the right. That's exactly what happened that time.
Mitchell maybe having his best day ever against the Giants. Second down and 1. He gained 9 that time. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Roderick Sargent, the fullback, will have the Cardinal first down, thrown back, but I believe his forward progress will give him a first down yardage at the 44. Eric Howard on the stop.
Looking at Sims, talking to Ron Earhart, his offensive coordinator, finding out what they want to do when they get the football back, actually wanting to know what happened in the blocking pattern. Why didn't he have time to throw the football when Noga knocked the ball loose?
42 pass attempts by Sims today. His season's high last year when the Giants went to the Super Bowl was 45. That was in the opening game against the Cowboys. Cardinals first down on the 44. And on an end around with a tight end, Ewald fumbles and is thrown for a loss by Carl Banks. Back to the 36-yard line. Loss of 6.
The playbook says that Banks, or the computer, that Banks is not the pursue guy. Taylor is, this time trying to get a little fancy with a tight end reverse, and then Banks in hot pursuit gets back and knocks the ball. Well, almost gets the ball away from Ewald. Kind of slides in there. One of the old, kind of like the old roller skating routine he and Lonnie Smith do in the offseason. They're roller skating.
They roller skate together, don't they?
They do. They love to roller skate.
A couple of guys from Michigan State.
Just rolling around.
Under a minute remaining in the third quarter. Second and 19. Lomax going deep. Tipped away. Roy Green, the intended receiver, and Mark Collins made a brilliant play downfield.
A cornerback's nightmare is knowing that he has this man, Roy Green, 81, man for man, all over the entire football field. Here you see Collins closing as he sees the football in the air. Does a fine job of coming over at the last moment with that left hand, knocking the ball away. That would scare me to death if I thought I had this guy all over the field and had to try to cover it. Collins did a good job.
Third down and 19 with 37 seconds to go in the third quarter. 27-17, the Cardinals by 10. They have missed an extra point. Mike Ruther comes in for Derek Kennard on the spread formations, and he's in there now for St. Louis at center. Lomax in the crowd, intended for J.T. Smith, through his hands, and it'll be fourth down. Well, the Giants have done a good job on J.T. Smith, the leading receiver in the league. Special teams put the Giants in a hole, and the defense, led by Taylor and Banks and Marshall, led a spark here in the second half. Horn coming in to kick it away, and McConkey is back for the Giants. Good kick by Horn. Penalty marker down. McConkey at the 17 is dropped at the 27 by Mike Morris, but there's a flag down.
McConkey had a return. That by number 68, Mike
will be against the Cardinals. And the Giants apparently will decline the penalty. And now they've decided to take it. The offensive unit had come on, and now it goes off, and they'll make Horn kick it again.
I think that's a smart.
Number 83 on the kicking team. Fourth down again.
I want to remind you, next week on CBS, it all begins with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. The Eagles against the New York Jets. The Jets, one of the 5 teams fighting in the AFC East. New Orleans against Cincinnati. Minnesota, Detroit. Also on tap. Atlanta against San Francisco. St. Louis against Tampa Bay. Check your local listing. Horn kicks it again in McConkey. Now at the 26-yard line. And McConkey will give the Giants good field position. Fumble on the play. And it was whistled dead at the 47-yard line. A 47-yard kick, but this time, Terry, a 20-yard return by Phil McConkey.
I was going to say earlier, this is smart on behalf of the Giants to force the Cardinals to kick again. They pick up another 18 yards in offensive yardage, so it's very smart. McConkey just taking it, going straight up the field. Nothing fancy about that, just a lot of guts and courage.
9 returns against the Eagles last week, tied a Giant all-time record. Giants on their own 47, first and 10. Sims' pass is caught by Bavaro, good enough for a first down, and wrestled down by Lonnie Young. And Lonnie Young has to be pretty strong to do that to Mark Bavaro. And that is the end of the third quarter here in St. Louis with the score, Cardinals 27, the Giants 17. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Shack, the technology store.
First and 10, fourth quarter, and Joe Morris with his best run of the day picks up a Giant first down just inside the Cardinal 30. Anthony Bell and Leonard Smith on the stop. And Terry, as we take a look at the rushing and passing numbers after 3 quarters of the game, what does that tell you?
Well, that tells you that the Giants have had problems running all year, so they're throwing the football. It also tells me that the Cardinals' defensive secondary is not that good.
First and 10 at the 29. Sims with a tough pass to Bavaro, who breaks the tackle and gets inside the 10, fumbles the ball. We'll wait for the official call. Lonnie Young made the hit. Bavaro with a great catch and run, but coughed it up inside the 10-yard line. Second play of the fourth quarter.
Well, now they have that mad scramble for the ball. That where everyone's piling in, fighting, trying to pull it out. So when the ref finally gets down there to the bottom, who's ever the strongest ends up with the football. It's the, it's that team's ball, even though he may have not, had it in first place. Giants are saying their ball. And so are the referees. So the initial response from the Cardinals was that they had recovered it, but the Giants maintained possession. And Bill Parcells can breathe a sigh of relief here. 89, Bavaro. Simply little check on Bell, goes back across the center. Now notice this, he's got 2 guys on him, clears them, and then comes by Junior, who also has him, and he's running for the goal line, and now he will fumble the football. Now it's a mad scramble to see who ends up getting it. Might have been William Roberts, I'm not sure, the tackle. In any event, the Giants have it, and the Cardinal fans boo the call, but it's first and goal. Inside the 10-yard line, Bavaro with his 10th reception of the game, 128 yards, best game of the year for Mark. Joe Morris fighting his way inside the 5-yard line, and this is where Morris, and now Tempers Blair inside, pointing Lonnie Young and Leonard Smith. 2 hard-hitting safeties.
It'll be 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line, and an important drive for the Giants. Lawrence Taylor, I think, would like to get on the field and contribute something.
Well, he's shouting. He's encouraging his team. Obviously, the Giants are playing with adrenaline. They got it going now. The line's coming off the ball. They're running. They're throwing it.
And trailing by 10. Here's Morris. Down to the 2. Once again, Joe Morris has scored only 1 touchdown this season on the ground. 35 in the previous 2 years. And that time it was Lonnie Young and Nico Noga who stopped Joe. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 2, and Harry Carson. Nearly 2 minutes gone by in this 4th quarter. 3rd and goal, and here's Joe Morris in for the touchdown. Only his 2nd touchdown rushing of the year, and the Giants, who at one point were trailing 21-10, have now come back to 27-23.
And you can just sense the turnaround. You can just sense that the momentum is all of a sudden changed. The Giants are shouting and hollering and screaming and fighting and scratching and clawing.
Raul Alegre. Gene Stallings is trying to keep his club hanging in there. The kick is good, and it's now a 27-24 ball game. So that extra point looms large for the Cardinals. The Giants trail by 3. In St. Louis now 27-24 Cardinals. Vi Sikahema with a couple of great returns, including a punt return for a touchdown. Stump Mitchell doing the job on the ground for the Cardinals, and Bill Sims, the whole Giant offense through the air. And 12:52 remaining, Terry, in the ball game, and the Giants have shown some spark. First the defense and then the offense in the second half.
The defense came out, set the tone in the second half. We questioned whether they would. It spread to the offense, and now it's a Sims-Bavaro show with the defense playing good, aggressive football.
Big play on that drive was the pass to Bavaro here.
Well, there's a fine job by Sims standing in there, pumps, picks it back, and then Bavaro showing great determination as he makes the catch and takes it down, allowing Morris eventually go in for the touchdown.
McAdoo 2 yards in the end zone, returning for the Cardinals. And he is ganged up on just short of the 20-yard line. So the Giants, who trailed 27-21-10 and then 27-10 after Mitchell's touchdown at the half, have come back to within 3 points.
The Neil Lomax show has been a show of explosion in certain halves and certain quarters. Early in the year against the Cowboys for 3/4 nothing, and then over 200 yards and 2 touchdown passes to win the game in the 4th quarter. Today we saw him come out hot, and now we've seen him going cold in the entire 3rd quarter. Look for him now to open it up and Neil Lomax to get hot again.
On the 18-yard line, 1st down. Gets rid of it in a hurry to Mitchell. And Mitchell is dropped. Mark Collins on the stop.
You know, Dick, that's a pass that Neil Lomax didn't really want to throw to the back. He wanted to throw the football down the field, but because of the pressure, he had to unload it, get it out, and get it out of his hands to avoid a sack.
Leonard Marshall, and his eyes, a determined defensive player who expressed his frustration yesterday. Lomax has only hit 5 of his last 13 passes. 2nd down and 10. Dumps it off this time to Broderick Sargent. Sargent close to a 1st down at the 29-yard line. Broderick Sargent is 2nd-year free agent out of Baylor. Both Sargent and Derek McAdoo, 2 free agents out of Baylor, and both long shots to make the Cardinals, made the team. Perry Williams that time made the stop. And let's see if we'll have a measurement. They're short by about less than a foot. The attendance here today at Busch Stadium in the final home game of the year for the Cardinals is 29,623. 29,000.
Well, you got to ask yourself, you know, maybe that's one of the reasons why Mr. Bidwell is given thought to leaving. He can't pack this place in. This is a baseball town, and the football Cardinals know that, and they don't like being second citizens around here.
3rd down and 1, you're right. And I remember a couple of years ago when the Cardinals had shown some good play early and did not sell out early enough against the Rams or the Redskins. 3rd and 1 at the 27. Taylor anxious to come in, and leaping over the top, Stump Mitchell appears to have enough for the 1st down. Well, earlier on the NFL Today, Will McDonough had a report indicating that he thought the Cardinals would not be leaving St. Louis because of a lawsuit that the NFL hopes to win. It's a confusing and complex situation involving the fact that the Raiders would have to pay because they moved from Oakland into an expansion city of Los Angeles. And the same situation would apply to the Cardinals in any one of the 3 cities they're considering, and they would have to pay also. We talked to Bill Bidwell, Terry and I, and we'll tell you after this play what he told us. 1st and 10 Cardinals at the 30-yard line. Here is Mitchell, and he gets just 1, and that's all. Well, Terry, we went down to Bill Bidwell's office, and he said he was aware of all of those ramifications concerning the fact that there might be some problem in moving and the fact that there might be some money changing hands, but he said that that was not going to be a factor in keeping him from moving if he wanted to move.
Well, he's a smart man, and just to consider going to Baltimore and all the time and effort that's been placed in it, he obviously placed us, and he understood that when he went over there to meet with the Baltimore people.
2nd and 8. A pass out of the backfield close to a 1st down near the 40-yard line. And Sargent on the receiving end. Banks having to be separated right now from Louis Sharp. And they're still trying to get the players away. There is Sharp.
One team looking for respect in the Cardinals. Louis Sharp showing that right there, showing the frustration that the Cardinals have experienced. Then on the course on the other side, the Giants showing the frustration of not being able to repeat and go to the Super Bowl. At least that's the way it looks this year.
Terry, when you win a Super Bowl, and of course no team has repeated since the Pittsburgh Steelers back in '79 and '80, and you know they're all coming after you. You know they're coming after you. What is your mindset when you're trying to repeat?
Well, it's very difficult to repeat in this day and time because of the money, and especially in New York, since they hadn't won in so many years, the pats on the backs, the books, the endorsements, everyone telling you how great you are. You have to start preparing to defend that title early in March and April, and I'm afraid the Giants really didn't get that going this year. It takes a lot of preparation to repeat. It's not something you can turn a key on, and it just happens.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Lomax, and the whistle had blown. Taylor picks up the ball, but Leonard Marshall will get credit for the sack, and Marshall may be shaken up.
Leonard Marshall, 70, coming right up inside. As you can see, Louis Sharp punches him and turns him over to Todd Pete, the left guard, and actually Lomax, sitting short like he did, played into the hands of Leonard Marshall that time. He didn't have to go deep. He went short to make the sack.
He hurt his left hand in making that play, and they're working on him over at the sidelines. John Washington, number 73, has come in for Marshall. Just under 9 minutes to go, 4th quarter, 2nd down and 17 for the Cardinals on their 33. Play action, and Lomax drills it to J.T. Smith. He's got it. Into Giant territory to the 41-yard line. Good for 21 yards. Terry Kennard and Kenny Hill.
You have to give some thought to why the Cardinals threw the football when Leonard Marshall left. They cranked it up. Lomax play action, holding the linebacker, simple zone, and then the deep crossing route by J.T. Smith, getting underneath the safety, Kennard, making the 1st down catch.
And a big 1st down by the Cardinals, who at one time had a 27-10 lead. Now they're in front 27-24. Still plenty of time remaining. On the Giant 40. Lomax handing off to Broderick Sargent, who's tripped up at the 35, picks up 5 on the play.
Sargent, the ball carrier. Tackled by Pepper Johnson.
Pepper Johnson on the tackle.
When you go and talk to Gene Stallings, they have what they call quality control. It's a little deal that prints out everything that's done over the age of time, when time and the earth was created. It's right there.
A long time ago.
You bet. And then the Cardinals, they have a little deal that says that you can run those little draws on first down inside the 50-yard line because the linebackers won't blitz. They didn't blitz, they ran the draw.
2nd and 5, pitch to Mitchell. Sargent blocking, and Stump Mitchell spins his way for a first down and more inside the 25. Mark Collins and Kenny Hill on the play. He got 11 yards that time, and a big game for Stump Mitchell.
Miss Banks coming up from the outside in hot pursuit. Snap of the ball coming out, dodges one block, gets up, and now he's behind Stump Mitchell. He'll come in hot pursuit along with Leonard Mitchell, 70. Eventually, Kennard comes up. He tries to make the tackle. He misses.
Kenny Hill, who's a tough cookie, is shaken up and down on the field. Stump Mitchell has gained 90 yards on 20 carries. Keep in mind, his season's high was last week when he gained 101 yards against the Redskins.
Well, the Cardinals have found a running attack. Of course, with Earl Farrell being out with an injury, Farrell had 500 yards from a running back spot at fullback, and now Mitchell with over 500 yards as a halfback. That's a pretty good combination. You're going to see Hill coming up. There we are right there. Hill coming up, but of course his man, I believe that's, I can't see the number, but his own man actually comes underneath Hill, who's trying to make the tackle, and hurts him.
Might have been Mark Collins. But Hill is up and walking off on his own power. If the Giants lose this game, they are out mathematically in every way of any playoff hopes. If the Cardinals lose, they still are in the race, with the Vikings having lost today. Tom Flynn, the former Green Bay Packer, has replaced Kenny Hill at safety. 1st and 10 at the 24. 6:50 remaining in the 4th quarter. Cardinals lead 27-24.
Giants have to stop the Cardinals. They can't allow them to score.
Mitchell. Fancy move by Stump Mitchell. Picks up about 6 or 7 yards. And it's Mark Collins on the stop. And Mitchell is getting awfully close to that 100-yard mark.
So much for that Dallas move about showing everyone that you run to Mitchell and you run to Taylor. This time you're seeing the Cardinals actually running to the right, running at Banks, and having their greatest success.
Kenny Hill back in the ball game, had injured his shoulder, but he's back in there replacing Flynn. Time remaining in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 2 for the Cardinals. Mitchell 3 yards away from 100. Inside, Sargent up to the 15-yard line, and let's see where they spot the ball. Probably closer to the 14-yard line, and it's very close to a first down. See if we have a measurement on this play.
Dick, we don't see many 3rd down, short yardage situations where we see a team come out and do play action passes. You know, Lomax is not the most nimble of foot, but this is an ideal time if you really want to blow a computer up and come out and do something that they have not shown. Play action, 3rd down, 3rd and short. I got a feeling we'd catch them by surprise. I also have a feeling that this is not something they're going to do.
They are short by about the length of the football, maybe less, and I think you called it a little bit when Lomax came out and the Giants had come back to 3 points, and you thought he was going to start to air it out and start to unleash his offense.
Well, you know, you never can keep that high state of performance. It comes and goes. You have a good quarter, maybe a good half, and then it goes down, and then you kind of regroup, and it comes back again. I sense now that, the Cardinals' offense is certainly rising back up to the occasion, feeling good about themselves.
3rd and 1. Sargent will have enough. First down, Cardinals. So if the Giants had to stop the Cardinals on this series from scoring, their task has been multiplied that much more. Now it's first down, St. Louis on the 12-yard line. 27-24 the score, and some scores around the league. The important game was the victory by the Packers over Minnesota. Philadelphia is out of playoff consideration. Big win for Buffalo and for New England. We have more. Pitch to stump Mitchell. Mitchell inside the 10, close to the 5-yard line. The Redskins eliminated the Dallas Cowboys. The Rams stay alive. And they've been hot. Kansas City over the Raiders in the fourth quarter. The Steelers over San Diego. Tampa Bay. They could be in trouble and on the verge of being ousted if they lose their round. Stump Mitchell has gone over 100 yards. He's got 105, his best day of the year.
And they're doing what they want to do. They're running the football. They're taking time off the clock, and they're advancing him down the field. Fixing to go in. Hopefully they think for a touchdown to put him away.
2nd and 3 at the 5-yard line, and Mitchell is dropped for a loss with under 4 minutes to go. Harry Carson making the stop. And that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Cardinals. 3rd and 5 for St. Louis. We want to welcome those viewers who saw the Rams beat the Atlanta Falcons today. The St. Louis Cardinals had a big lead, been cut to 3, and they have a 3rd down and 5 on the Giants' 7-yard line with 3:22 remaining in the fourth quarter. Neil Lomax, the quarterback for the Cardinals, on 3rd down. Can't find a receiver and goes out of bounds, but there is a penalty marker down as well. Dick Stockton and Terry Bradshaw in a game that could mean the end of the playoff trail for the Giants if they lose. And for the Cardinals, they're trying to move a step closer to the Minnesota Vikings. Penalty was against the Cardinals.
Holding, as you can see there. Lomax anticipating man coverage in tight like this. Comes up and realizes he doesn't have man coverage. His route's no good. He has zone coverage.
Holding number 39, offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
Roderick Sargent, the fullback, was holding. It is now 4th down. And Al Del Greco comes in for the Cardinals. He's a new kicker who was picked up, former Green Bay Packer, and the Cardinals with 2 kickers on their roster, Gallery and Del Greco. Del Greco kicks the short ones. So the Cardinals, with a 3-point lead, will try to stretch it to 6 with 3:11 to go, and they held the ball for over 9 minutes on this drive.
This is no chip shot, even though that's what it seems to be, but he's already missed 1 extra point today.
27-yard attempt by Del Greco, and that extra point looms here. Del Greco's kick, no good. Misses off to the left. And a penalty marker is down. So let's wait and see. Jerry Markbright, our referee, and apparently it is against the Cardinals.
Illegal use of the body foul, tripping on the offense, penalty decline, kick is no good, timeout.
Well, Terry, the Giants held here.
Well, it's so much the Giants held him from a touchdown. The Cardinals should have gotten the field goal, and you can look, you can see Andy Head in 54 as he goes ecstatic, realizing now all they need is a field goal to tie this game up, send it in overtime.
Giant ball, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Trailing by 3 with 3:08 remaining in the game. For the fourth quarter at least. Sims. Out to Bavaro, and Bavaro fumbles. And the Giants have it close to the 30-yard line, and they picked up nearly 9 on the play. Tim McDonald made the hit for the Cardinals.
Sims out scrambling. Bavaro standing up. just standing there at the snap of the ball. Now you see him check for the blitz, goes down, looks at the linebackers, comes across, notices pressure, and goes back against the grain and makes the reception.
Second down and 1. And Galbraith, penalty marker down. Galbraith has the first down pending the flag. And the preliminary signal seems to be against the Giants. 2:31 on the clock.
Holding number 65 offense. That penalty is declined.
The Cardinals decline the holding penalty against Bart Oates and Billy Ard. They accept one of the 2 holding calls. The Giants had second down and 1. And now we'll have second down and 11. The Giants at one time trailing 27-10 at halftime. Have come on in the second half, but still trail. Sims swings it out to Galbraith. And Galbraith is tackled inbounds at the 24 by Gregory Johnson, and they won't get a play off before the 2-minute warning. Sims has hit his last 8 passes. And we have our 2-minute warning. The Giants still have 3 timeouts remaining. The Cardinals are in front 27-24. And Terry, Bill Parcells, of course, told his team this week that they were fighting for their jobs, if not a slim playoff berth.
And in talking to him, he just says, look, these guys know who they are. They know who they are. And we're all our jobs are on line here. He's coming back. Parcells will be back next year to coach his team. But he knows the guys out there who haven't been giving it their all, the guys that haven't really prepared this year. And he just said, I'll put up with it early. I understand, you know, the Super Bowl. But now I'm not going to do it. He says, fellas, it's off. It's off. Now, by golly, you either go out there and show and prove it to me, or you're out of here.
And something must have happened at halftime, because Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks came up steamed up in the 3rd quarter. And their defense set the tone, and then the offense picked it up. And the Giants, with touchdowns in the 3rd and 4th quarters, have shut out the Cardinals here in the second half. We want to remind you, coming up next, 60 minutes, except on the West Coast. 2 minutes remaining. 3rd down and 6 for the Giants on their 24-yard line.
Who do you double? Do you double Bavaro? Do you double Manuel? Who do you double? If you double 2, you leave 2 single coverage.
Sims has Galbraith for the first down. Just made it, in fact, to the 32-yard line. Gregory Johnson on the stop. Clock continues to run, and the Giants in their 2-minute offense, and again, they have all 3 timeouts remaining. First down at the 31. Sims up the middle, and it's intercepted. Travis Curtis. The 5th interception of the year by Travis Curtis. He has 5 of the 12 interceptions by the Cardinals. The story of the game, the Giants special teams put him in a hole early. Vi Sekahema with a punt return for a touchdown and a long kickoff return for a score. It was 27-10 at the half. The Giant defense has shut out the Cardinals in the second half. The Giants have come back, but the interception by Travis Curtis may have been the final nail for the Giants. 1st and 10 Cardinals on their own 47. 1:35 remaining. Stump Mitchell gets to midfield, and this was the big play by the Cardinals defense.
For those of you who just joined us, this is the play. Giants were driving. Sims dropping back, trying to find Bavaro. 46 McDonald. He overthrows him, intercepted by Travis Curtis, number 20.
You're looking at a portion of the Cardinals secondary, particularly their safeties, Leonard Smith and Lonnie Young. Travis Curtis with a big play, but now it's 2nd and 7 for the Cardinals. At midfield with 1:29 remaining, the Giants have 2 timeouts to go. Stump Mitchell and Pepper Johnson hits him. A loss on a yard on the play. It was Pepper Johnson with help from Carl Banks. And the Giants are forced to use the timeouts because of the interception on defense, and now they have 1 left. Following football tonight on CBS starts with 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the Hallmark Hall of Fame, Foxfire. That's tonight on CBS.
Dick, if I were the Cardinal coaching staff, I wouldn't call a play where Lomax had to turn around and pitch the ball to anyone. If you saw the earlier game with the Cowboys and the Redskins, the first score the Redskins got was when Danny White turned around and pitched to Walker off the left, a fumble, and then set up the first touchdown by the Redskins. I wouldn't do that. If anything, I'd just take a snap by Lomax and get down on one knee if they're going to do that, because if they fumble that baby and they put him over the 50, they'll lose this football game.
3rd down and 8 for the Cardinals on their own 49. Giants have 1 timeout left. They give it to Mitchell. He doesn't make the first down, but gets good yardage, and the Giants will use their last timeout right here. Mitchell is stopped at the Giant 44 by John Washington. And the Giants are out of timeouts, but it'll be 4th down and 2 yards, and Horn will have to come in and kick. Well, the playoff scramble continues thanks to the Packers beating the Minnesota Vikings today. And now the Rams trail Minnesota by 1 game. If the Cardinals hold on and win this game, they too will be a game behind the Minnesota Vikings. But the Cardinals, if they end up in a tie with the Vikings, have a better conference record than Minnesota and would get the wild card berth. Now the Rams could also end up in a tie, but they would not get the nod. In any event, both the Rams and the Cardinals could win outright. There's still time. 2 games to go in the year. 4th down, and Horn is kicking. The Giants don't have anyone back. Penalty marker down, and we'll have a roughing the kicker call. They got Horn, and that's the 2nd time the Giants have run in to the Cardinal punter today. Special teams. The Giants, if they lose, it's the special teams that did them in today.
All-out effort this time.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, running into the kicker. Number 82, defense, 1st down.
You're going to see Gregory Johnson, actually 27 of the Cardinals, block the outside rusher into the kicker, and that's what the Giants were hollering about. Mark Ingram, the guy that he went right over. All-out blitz, all-out rush by the Giants to get in and block this punt. But there's the block right there on Ingram that knocks Ingram into the kicker. Bad call, lousy call, terrible call.
Ingram called for running into the kicker. Earlier in the game, Adrian White ran into Horn. A more clear offense, penalty marker down, and the Cardinals just trying to use up the clock. The Giants are out of timeouts. A very tough call, and we did not get any whistle from upstairs to see if they were going to review the tape. In any event, we want to remind you that coming up next is 60 Minutes, except on the West Coast.
I'm surprised.
Encroachment foul, number 58, defense, 1st down.
That was Banks.
I'm surprised that the Giants didn't protest louder. You know, normally if a team screams and hollers and goes crazy, normally everyone Boatwright will stop action and go look it up. You know, you got to get these guys' attention. I'm surprised they didn't do that because they were in the right then.
Not much of a protest, and now the crowd standing. If this is the last game ever in St. Louis for the Cardinals, the crowd wants to see it come out with a W.
Well, the first game was with the Giants. Maybe the last game is with the Giants.
Well, it is. They lost that one in 1960, and this one they'd like to turn around. So the future of the Cardinals hangs in the balance. But as far as their football team is concerned, Terry, they're definitely alive mathematically in the playoff fight. The Vikings losing. They're now a game behind. The Rams are in contention as well.
Well, I know the Cardinals' offensive line with Sharp and Robbins and these guys in there, Smith and Pete, have to be pleased with the effort they got today, not only protecting but blocking for Mitchell.
And that should do it. The Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles eliminated. Tampa Bay, if they go on and lose, also out. Green Bay stays alive, and so it finally is over. They are now the ex-Super Bowl champions. The Cardinals have defeated the New York Giants 27-24 in perhaps the finale at Busch Stadium in St. Louis forever. We'll be back.
The Cardinals had not been officially eliminated from the playoffs. All they'd been this year is officially bad coming into this game as well. The most important thing was, would the St. Louis Cardinals be playing their last game at Busch Stadium in St. Louis? It appears that way, and the fans thought so as well, because they stayed away. Will they be in Phoenix, Baltimore, Memphis, Jacksonville Cardinals? Who knows? But likely they will not be at Busch Stadium. Only minutes into the game, Sean Landeta punting for the Giants. Vi Sikahema is back there to field the kick. And then he takes off running. Watch him burn the entire Giant squad, but watch Sean Landeta try to make the tackle along the sideline. It waves at him as he goes by. See you later. 76 yards on the touchdown. St. Louis leads at 7-0. Cardinals pretty much dominated the first half. Neil Lomax, his tight end, Robert Awald, 20 yards on this touchdown, and he is wide open in the end zone. St. Louis led 27-10 at the half. Giants did improve in the second half. Bill Sims throws to Lionel Manuel, 17-yard touchdown, and he's open as well. Giants within 3 is 27-24. Sims had to throw a lot in this game, as you can see, and in the waning moments of the game, Sims throws over the middle. Travis Curtis intercepts the ball here as he dives in to catch it, and the Giants are officially the ex-champions of the National Football League as the Cardinals win it 27-24. The Cardinals now 6-7 on the season. The Giants, that's right, as you said it before, Chris, 4-9. At Tampa Bay, a